What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. And today, as stated yesterday, we did have Mr. Powell. He was with Congress today, giving his testimony, and he is still standing strong with his regular song and dance. Even though he's been grilled multiple different times with the same question, he does not feel that the current inflation is actually still transitory, and that the inflation we're actually seeing is still in used cars, that we're still seeing a bump in essentially hotels, and also, but no real other inflation going on. And this primarily being essentially because of the fact that of the pandemic. I think everybody's trying to get out. And so reservations in current state of prices have been driven up because of that simple supply and demand. So being said, we have one more day. The Beige Book also came out. The market really didn't matter about the Beige Book. I don't think the Beige Book had as much impact today. But being said, the Beige Book came out around 2 o'clock today, and the market really didn't react to that. Tesla, some of your big tech took quite a bit of a hit today. Amazon actually took a hit but bounced right back. Tech is looking weak. If there's any kind of inflation, obviously everybody's going to sell tech for no specific reason. Media is going to pump the information that they want out, even though Powell, again, keeps reiterating that this is all transitory. Although there is two fields here essentially talking as far as inflation goes. People think that bonds essentially should be taken care of. Other people think that where Powell stands on the side essentially that there are other means that can be taken care of. We don't want to leave people behind. A lot of people are struggling. We also heard that in some of the testimony today, that there shouldn't be this push to raise rates yet. People are still very much behind. And also be aware that there's still a lot of money out there that is floating around that has already been approved for 3 more checks. I believe this money that is still floating out there is for businesses that haven't actually taken any money. So there's still more for personal checks that can be sent out to people. Now there may be more regulations if they do decide to do that with all this cash that's essentially sitting on the sideline. Just to understand that there is a lot of strength in the markets. The market's really been looking for a reason to pull back. I think these media headlines about inflation and everything, which is something that Powell did talk about, is starting to kind of hit. And so we're getting kind of a pullback. We're getting these sell-offs for no particular reason. I think they're all temporary pullbacks. Again, we do have earnings here in another 2 weeks. For big tech, we are going through bank earnings right now. Banks have been doing pretty good I know Goldman Sachs had a good earnings, but everything else is kind of just pulling back, just in general. I mean, all your value. Again, travel actually looks pretty good. Wind looks pretty good here. But being said, a lot of different things I think ultimately really don't have that much of an impact, right? There's still a lot of uncertainty. Powell keeps reiterating that. The uncertainty is just, it's just not in the cards. You can't give a specific answer because he doesn't know. Stuff can change very much on a whim. But that's what the market is concerned about. And so when there's uncertainty, the market will stagnate, have these dramatic sells, a lot of whipsaw today. I expect a lot more whipsaw tomorrow. And something I've reiterated many different times is that on days like this, times like this, especially when data is so sensitive right now, the market is still extremely bullish. I don't believe there's going to be a crash this year. I'm not saying that possibility is completely wiped from the cards, but I think it's very highly unlikely that it will. Again, I don't think we will have any kind of major correction until possibly next year. Not saying that we could have another 10% correction, 5% correction here sometime around the fall, possibly even right now. But ultimately understand that you're going to have the Xmas rally with tons of money in the system. So your Amazons and everything else are going to go flying from that point. But being said, the market is very strong, and so we're just dealing with this again. A lot of whipsaw today. Again, if it's too much, it's best just sit out from that point, or keep it small. Right? Even myself, a lot of the trades I've been taking, I haven't been taking a lot of swing trades, and I've been doing pretty small trades from this point because we don't really know a specific direction right now. I know it's going up, right? But you have a lot of these wild cards like the Powell coming on the horn, testifying and stuff like that, and the whole market is essentially waiting on every word that he says. If he says something the wrong way, or the market might take it the wrong way, and then you get these dramatic sells. So being said, tomorrow we do have another testimony from him. I believe it is actually all day for the most part. It starts pretty early and kind of continues throughout the day. That's why you get a lot of these whipsaw going on. But it does open up opportunities like today. I did miss this. I was actually out and about and completely missed this sell-off, this dip buy, because this pulled right back up. But your shops, again, something I've been talking about. So I don't have a watch list other than your FANG stocks are most important right now. A lot of second tier and small caps have really been taking massive hits. So it's something to keep in mind. Just stay with the strength at this moment until things get corrected. Once things get corrected, the leaders start pushing back up, then your second tier and everything else will push up from that point. So you might see a lot of things sell and then kind of base out and start building its way back up. Apple has some tremendous news that they need to actually produce more phones. So it held actually extremely well today. I think this will continue up. Could have a massive year going into Christmas. Speaking of which, we're halfway home from this point. Also, Netflix did come out with some news that they are starting to do gaming as well. So GME actually might take a massive hit, but they got news here after hours that they are starting to do gaming. So that's something to keep a watch going into earnings. Their earnings is on the 20th, so that's next week. Again, followed by everything else. So all eyes will be on Netflix. If Netflix crushes it or sells, that might be a red flag. And then coming into, when we start getting your major ones like Apple, Amazon, and Tesla, if they start getting crushed, even though they may have crushed earnings, could be a concern. So again, that's happened back in March when we started having Amazon did again tremendous job, only to start selling off a lot. So being said, going into tomorrow again, Powell, if you don't enter day trade or looking for investments, anything like that, I think ultimately just waiting, being patient, perhaps building some mid to lower cap stocks. If there's any particular ones you like your Roblox or your Palantir and then DMs, those are companies that you've done your due diligence on and really like those, buy those up. At this point, I think it's only a matter of time coming into the back half of the year. I think we're going to see a major rally. I think this is just the beginning of it. I think there might be some kind of correction after earnings, and then that will essentially lead us off into the fall. But being said, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Don't want to make this video too long. Again, not that much of a watch list. Just keep FANG on watch. There's a lot of stuff that's into support right now. I could go over a lot of stuff that is into support right now, but ultimately understand that it's really going to matter what Powell says and what information I may give today. Could be incorrect tomorrow. All right, we might get some whipsaw, and then he might say something wrong, and then we just sell off. So it's better just to be mindful of what's the current events that are going on tomorrow. That does play a big difference, especially with inflation and everything that's going on. So again, market holding on every word that Mr. Powell is essentially saying. So till next time, guys, take care, and I will see you guys later.